Hello everyone and welcome to this week's video tutorial. This will be the third board in Dubious Positions and how to attack them, which deals with this elephant opening. And for today's board and the board next week, we will be discussing the elephant versus the left cross palace cannon variation. So without further ado, let us begin. Elephant opening, left cross palace cannon. Now this is usually the cannon to move. If c2 equals to 6, which is occasionally seen, it will not be as good as this move, because if, for example, if c2 equals to 4, again, as mentioned in the previous board, this cannon, if black will lose the option of moving the cannon to attack the elephant because it had already moved away. We see it equals to 4. Black will still have the option of playing c2 equals to 3 to attack this file. Red develops his horse and then develops his chariot, preparing to form a blockade if necessary. Black takes his time, p7 plus 1, and red counters with p7 plus 1. With this move, red shows that he wants a balanced development of both flanks. He can also play c2. Another option would be to play c2 equals to 1, develop the horse and go for the 3-step tiger formation. Black develops the file chariot. Red is not in a hurry. Instead, he moved the horse a-shape plus 7, so that if he moved here, black would have the option of playing h7 plus 6. Now black develops his right horse to the edge file. Now this is a rather staunch and safe formation for black at this point in time. It has also increased in popularity and is perhaps the most commonly seen option for black instead of e3 plus 5, which is also played, which is another major variation. Both e3 plus 5 and h2 plus 1 have become the main options in black's repertoire in this opening system. And since black played h2 plus 1, red would play p9 plus 1 to prevent the development of this horse. And black will usually play r1 plus 1. He hopes to continue with r1 equals to 3 to attack this file and probably the horse. Another option for the chariot would be to play r1 equals to 6, so that I could move to the river bank to start countering. Unfortunately, because these plans cannot be realized, because red can fight for the initiative and start his attack, as will be seen later on. Instead of r1 plus 1, it has been advocated that black should play c2 equals to 3 at this point in time. And if red continue with h7 plus 8 to prevent r1 equals to 2, black could now make use of this cross palace cannon to attack, threatening to capture the horse. Let's say red made this move, which is sound. h8 plus 9 is not a good idea, because black would be more than happy to develop the chariot, forcing a trade of material, and after capturing material, red's defenses would be in trouble. So h2 plus this would be a trade of material, and red could now play e3 plus c3 equals to 5 to attack the central file, and he will still be able to put up a fight. So c2 equals to 3 would be a better move. And since black showed that the chariot was ready to move away, red will now start attacking this edge file with p9 plus 1. Now this is a very tightly knit move that will link up the earlier moves and start a very powerful attack. Red will get instant results. Now the chariot has moved to the cross riverbank rank, preventing h7 plus 6, threatening the pawn. And black can only move e7 plus 5. If he moved e3 plus 5, the horse would be less protected and in mortal danger. Now red will continue with r9 equals to 6, which is a very good move. With r9 equals to 6, the cannon is threatened, and black will be forced to play a 6 a6 plus 5. Now, because of a6 plus 5, this chariot will now find it even harder to be developed, because you cannot play r1 equals to 6, and the options remaining are few. r1 equals to 2 would be awkward, r1 equals to 3 would be perhaps the only possible line, r1 equals to 4 would be extremely awkward. So, but instead, it was suggested that Red should have kept his options of playing r1 equals 6 alive by playing c4 equals to 3 instead. Now, even though Red was still the initiative, but Black could Black would still have a fighting chance. And of course, if c4 equals to 3, Red could play h7 plus 6 to attack, but nevertheless, c4 equals to 3 will be much better than a6 plus 5. And seeing that the chariot was now limited, Red attacks with c2 plus 6. With c2 plus 6, the cannon will now make use of the advisor to attack the chariot in this manner. This horse will be protecting the chariot, so that it will be a trade of chariots, and Red will have nothing to worry. And we can see that Black's position has become more and more cramped. c2 minus 1. Black was fooled and fell into its trap. The level-headed counter would have been r1 minus 1, whereby Black would lose tempo by moving his chariot back, but at least it wouldn't be so bad a situation for Red. And as can be seen, the positioning of the black pieces over here has become more and more cramped, and Red will continue his attack. Although Black was prepared to gain material, he will continue his attack with c8 equals to 9, not fearing losing the cannon, because now the cannon will be attacking the chariot. And if the horse moved, the chariot will capture the horse. Now, this is a very nice move. It is also a necessary intermediate move to make. If Red was too trigger happy and captured the chariot, Black could play c2 equals to 8, and Red would not have gained anything in this situation, because now Black would be able to mount a counter attack and use his chariot and cannon to apply pressure on this flank and also pin the red chariot. So although Red would gain control of this line, Black would likewise gain control of the other external rib file. h1 plus 2, or the chariot will be lost, because the cannon have blocked the chariot from moving. And because of this move, let us retract a little bit. c2 minus 1 would not have been better, and that is why the authors suggested r1 minus 1, because if c8 equals to 9, Black could move r1 equals to 2. h1 plus 2 to prevent the chariot from being lost. And at this point in time, Red would make a very nice move of r6 plus 2. Now, this would be the position of discussion for this board. Black has just lost a major piece. If the advisor captured, Red would capture the chariot, and after trading chariots, Red will be one piece up. So at this point in time, there will be two major counters. The first would be r1 plus 6, the second will be r2 equals to 8. But before we continue, would it be a better idea for Red to play c2 minus 7? Now, the idea behind this move would be that Red would be prepared to play c2 equals to 9 to attack the chariot again. This cannon is protected by the elephant, so this will be viable. Now, this is the tactic of a discovered attack. But let us see. Black could play p3 plus 1, c2 equals to 9, capture, trade, and Red would now make this very nice move of c2 equals to 4 to trade chariots. So after capturing, Black would capture also. So this would actually become a trade of chariots. If Red captured the cannon, Black would capture the horse. So Red would not be able to profit from this situation, and Black would have clawed his black way back in and not lose any material, and actually even gain some momentum in this counter attack. So even though the idea behind c2 minus 7 followed by c2 equals to 9 was brilliant, it was a nice idea, it would not be feasible. So r6 plus 2 will be the better move. And now black will be placed in a dilemma. And let us go to variation A, r1 plus 6. But before we continue, would ra plus 1 be viable? Red would capture the cannon, and red will counter with r6 equals to 8 to threaten the horse, because the horse was protecting the chariot. So after trading material, the horse can only move here. If he moved h2 plus 3, red would retreat the chariot, and this black horse would be skinned alive. That is why this would be the only move possible. And red will now play h2 plus 4 for the EI horse, and there are clear lines for development in this situation. The black pieces will be limited in effectiveness. This horse will be a major issue. It cannot advance. The elephant was protecting this pawn, and this pawn would protect this intersection. Let's say if black tried to move the pawn to attack the chariot, red would just simply retreat his chariot one step, or even move here, preparing to play r9 as h7 plus 9, and black will be in all sorts of trouble. So that is why ra plus 1 is not viable. So variation A, r1 plus 6, whereby black decides to be proactive and trade material. You take my cannon, I take yours. But what black had not anticipated was that red could play could simply retreat his chariot. Now red would not fear losing material, because the elephant will now be attacking the chariot, and black must move his chariot to safety. But unfortunately, this would be another example of poor decision making, although this was given in the main line. The sound move would be to play r1 equals to 3. After trading material, red is not in a hurry. Material wise, black would still have 2 horses and 1 cannon versus red's chariot and horse. Now, although red would have the overwhelming advantage, black can still hope to try to put up a bitter struggle. Now if h7 plus 6, it would be a good idea. Bad idea for red to play c2 equals to 8, because after trading, the cannon will be moved to a better position, and it would not be easy for red to control the situation, because he will still have to use up 1 to 2 moves to move the chariot to better lines or better positions, and try to develop his right horse. So h7 plus r7 equals to 6 would be better, but nevertheless black would be able to put up a bitter struggle. Now if instead black chose to protect his cannon by retreating the chariot again, red would have this very fierce move of advancing the chariot to forcefully gain material. Because after capturing the cannon, the chariot at this position would also threaten the back horse. So the main line, r1 equals to 2 was played, but nevertheless red would now have an upper hand. But the following tactical combinations are quite interesting and should be educational. So red will play c2 equals to 8, because the cannon will also threaten the chariot. So forcing the horse to jump away, thus preparing to trade material. After trading chariots, red will make this very nice move of h3 minus 5, whereby now there are 2 pieces protecting the horse. If red continued with this move, black would trade material 1, 2, 3 versus 2. Red would not have to worry about losing his horse, because they could be linked, and red would be 1 piece up, and This would be more than enough for black to secure overwhelming advantage going to the endgame phase. Red could play for r6+3 later on to offer a trade of material or to develop his horse, etc. etc. So h3-5, a nice move, and black decides to trade material, thinking that in doing so, let's say if red use the chariot or the horse, you capture and the material will still be the same, but red would move his cannon to safety as the horse and chariot were now pinning the black horse, and red would be bound to gain material. This is a very clever bind, and black would lose material and probably the game. Red would have a winning position. So this would bring us to the end of variation A. Now in variation B, c2 equals to 8, black accepts the trade of material with c2 equals to 8, but red would play r6 equals to 8 because the horse was ill positioned, and r1 equals to 2. Black tries to salvage his situation as he tries to equalize the position with r1 equals to 2. c8 plus 3 is not viable to try to protect the horse in this manner because red would sacrifice the pawn, forcing the horse away, and still capture the black horse in this manner. If the horse captured the elephant, red would use the cannon instead of the elephant to capture the black horse, and again black loses material and probably the game. r1 plus 3 to protect the horse would also not be viable because red would now apply tremendous pressure with r2 plus 7, one chariot pinning two black pieces that have virtually no space. h7 plus 6 would be the only viable move whereby black would have to compromise. If he played h7 plus 6, this cannon would not be protected and things would be even worse, and besides, these two horses would not have any good places to go. A trade of horses seems imminent, and red would take his time to slowly maneuver material and probably gain capture material later on. So this would be even worse situation because black would not be able to get out of this bind. h7 plus 6. After trading material, red will still have a winning position. One piece pinning three pieces, and this chariot is free to roam. The position of this black chariot is also bad, so that is why r1 plus 3 is not viable, and black tries to claw his way back in with this very proactive move, and red counters nicely, refusing to trade. After trading chariots, red would now use his cannon, jumping around, and now threaten the horse. And this would be the best move or recommended move by black. If black played h7 minus 6, red would play r2 plus 6 to prepare to attack the central pawn. As can be seen, this material is very lively. There are many lines for development, etc. If h7 plus 6, r2 plus 7 to apply lots of pressure, and red will be prepared to play c8 plus 1 for his next move and to gain material. So a5 plus 4 will be the best move, whereby black can still use his horse to protect the chariot and allow the cannon to move away to trade material. But red will attack with r2 plus 7, preventing the cannon from moving, and threaten the horse immediately. Again, it will be best for the horse to protect the cannon, otherwise material will be limited. c8 minus 1. Red would now retreat his cannon deftly and be prepared to capture the central pawn for an attack. As can be seen, The only movable piece would be this horse that cannot return to defend, and there are not many good positions for it to move. It cannot move here, or this horse will capture it. Neither can it move here, as it's guarded by the same horse. The only move will be h2 plus 3, but again, there will be too many pieces blocking the black horse, which is attacking alone in enemy territory. So red would have an overwhelming advantage. So this brings us to the end of example 2. Now, red's dubious position. In this board, red was able to gain an upper hand because of black's dubious position earlier on. First of all, he played r1 plus 1, although it might seem to be a natural move to make, but in fact, it planted the seeds for his demise. And red was able to capitalize by moving the chariot out into open, controlling and now attacking the cross-balanced cannon. And this would be the second bad move. A6 plus 5, instead r1 minus 1 would have been better, and things just got worse and worse for black. And red would attack mercilessly. So this would be the key points in this board. A short recap of the board as black. Let us retract a little bit. Elephant, left cross balance cannon counter. Both colors develop material. h9 equals to 1. h2 plus 1 for a very stable counter. So far orthodox, so far so good. p9 plus 1, dubious move. Instead, c2 equals to 3 is advised, so that black would try to develop his chariot from this file. p9 plus 1, forcing e7 plus 5, r9 equals to 6. Again, tremendous pressure. This trick worked, and black fell into this trap with a6 plus 5. Again, immediately red pounced the cannon into action, threatening the chariot, and black just made another big mistake with c2 minus 1, thinking that he could force a trade of cannons. If not, c2 equals to 4 would allow black to capture the red chariot. But red would have this move, this brilliant move of playing c8 equals to 9, offering a trade of material. Again, black is still insistent on playing c2 equals to 4, but red will continue with r6 plus 2, and this will be the position of discussion. Variation A, r1 plus 6, variation B, c2 equals to 8. If c8 plus 1 were played, black pieces will be limited in effectiveness. This horse will be a major issue, and red could take his time to further his advantage. Variation A, r1 plus 6, red retreats the chariot in the nick of time. Now the main reason is because the elephant was threatening the cannon, and now will protect. Now r1 equals to 2 was given. If r1 equals to 3 to offer a trade of material, red would move his chariot to a much better place after trading material. Black can still put up a better move, and that is why r1 equals to 3 is better. r1 equals to 6 is terrible, because red would attack in this move. r1 equals to 2 was given, but red will be able to gain material with this move. c2 equals to 4, threatening both chariots. Red delivers a check, trading chariots, and makes this very brilliant move of h3 minus 5 to protect the horse. And the chariot cannot move, otherwise if the chariot captured, red will capture the black horse. And red will move his cannon to safety. At this point, black is bound to lose the horse, and red would have one extra major piece going into the endgame phase, and this would usually translate into a win for red. Variation B, c2 equals to 8. Again, things are not looking good for black. Things are not looking good, even though black tries to play proactively, because red could now offer a trade on material. Protecting is good. a7 by 6 not good because of r2 plus 6. If a7 plus 6, r2 plus 7, and black can only hope that one day this spine will be broken, which would not be the case. 7, retreat. As can be seen, black's pieces are in a disarray, one piece pinning 3 pieces, so the advantage is very clear. So I hope you've enjoyed this short video. If you like the work that I've been doing, please do subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. Thank you.